I'm sorry, Kelley, I got these dots on my head. I used your blemish things, but they didn't work, so. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you for coming out today to celebrate the vibrant life of my wife and best friend, Kelley. The countless texts, calls, emails, and messages go a long way and make each day a little less difficult to get through. In the days leading up to today, I've had several people reach out to me apologizing that I have to go through the process of writing and grieving, giving Kelley's eulogy. Yes, this may be the hardest thing I have to do in my life. I may need your patience. Emotions are raw. I'm gut-wrenched. There's a constant pain in my heart. I've questioned everything and felt like I'm living in an alternative reality at times. However, I have the privilege to brag and boast about my late great wife and best friend, Kelley, and that's easy. Over the past couple of days, I've overheard one of Kelley's friends say, "The world is a little less colorful without Kelley in it." Words could not be truer. It was like she had a paintbrush, and we were lucky enough to be a part of her canvas. Kelley lit up every room she entered. Her infectious personality would draw people towards her. She brought a vibrancy to life that elevated all those around her. Kelley made everyone around her feel special, important, and heard. She was fiercely loyal to the one she loved, defended you even if you were at fault. Kelley didn't care. You were one of hers, and she would go to war for you. She loved so hard. I was lucky enough to have the phrase, "Isn't it nice you have a wife who loves you so much?" frequently said to me. And I wish I could hear it one more time. The one thing I will never forget about Kelley were her laughs. Yes, laughs, because she had multiple versions. Kelley would watch Modern Family and Friends and have these high-pitched, silly giggles. "Oh, we're doing the giggle thing again," I'd joke. Then Kelley would make me perform old SNL Chris Farley sketches, and you would get the Kelley cackle. These deep, full belly howls where she would claim, "Stop, stop, I'm gonna pee my pants," while gasping for air. That's one thing I will always cherish. I can make Kelley laugh. To say Kelley was competitive by nature would be the understatement of the century. It didn't matter if she was skiing down a mountain, doing a puzzle, bowling, or folding socks. Kelley wanted to win or be first or have the most accomplished. "Ha, I got more puzzle pieces done than you," she bragged over the holidays. The term humbled was not in Kelley's vocabulary either. Over the holidays, Sarah suggested we play a new board game called Code Names. Roles were explained, and we even did some practice rounds. After figuring out gameplay, Kelley and I were chosen to captain our separate teams for one round. I struggled on my turn, but got us 1, maybe 2 points. Kelley was eager for her turn because she knew she had a 6-point swing coming her way. After naming 6 clues and Sarah guessing correctly, she yelled, "Boom, in your face, losers!" Only to soon realize that she left out a very big rule of the game. The points swung +4 in our team's favor. Even after facing defeat, she still argued her way around to try to bend the rules in her favor. This was a perpetual habit when playing board games with Kelley. No, I get that point. It counts. This tenacity spilled over into Kelley's professional career. As a media sales rep, she constantly was wanting to outperform her colleagues. It was a healthy rivalry, but still a competition to her nonetheless. Even though she had so many accolades and sales accomplishments for hitting budget numbers, I still think the best compliment she received was when her boss, Heather, said, "I just wish I had more Kelleys on my team." I cannot tell you the number of times I would introduce Kelley to a friend, coworker, or just a random person at the bar, and how easily she was able to strike up a conversation with them. She'd throw in a compliment on their nails, or "Where'd you get that t-shirt?" And then it would be like they just hadn't met for the first 30 seconds ago. Kelley could connect with anyone. Eventually, she would run to the bathroom or something, and I would hear the phrase constantly, "Oh my God, your wife is amazing, I love her." Kelley could make friends with anyone, but she preferred making friends with dogs. Good news, I saw a dog today was a daily phrase uttered in our home by Kelley. She had dog vision. We'd walk down Lincoln Avenue, and all of a sudden, Kelley would shriek, throw her arms in the air, and almost squat down. and I'd ask her what's going on, and she'd remark, "Do you not see that fluffy Bernedoodle 3 blocks down on the left behind the car?" Kelley loved every dog she ever met. I would constantly get pictures and Instagrams of what breed of dog we were going to get and debated not only names, but nicknames we would call her. It had to be a girl. Our journey began back in 2019. After many years apart, Kelley and I reconnected while out with friends at River Shannon in Chicago. Uncharacteristic for both of us, neither of us wanted to go out that Friday night. But as fate would have it, we did, and the rest was history. Our first date was at a popular wine bar, shocking. As Kelley approached the entrance, she was on the phone with one of her close friends and said, "He's wearing a hat. Ugh, he's not taking this seriously." Who knew wearing a hat had such a negative connotation? This was news to me. However, unbeknownst to her, I was taking the date very seriously. It was the easiest conversation I'd ever had on a date. The second we started talking, it was like we'd been together for years. We reminisced of our time at IU together, old friends and where they were now, and our mutual love for the city of Chicago. Her vibrant personality, sense of humor, and genuine intrigue into my life had me hooked. There's no question this would not be our only date. A couple of months after our first date, Kelley and I attended our first Bears game together. Kelley loved the Chicago Bears. She was a diehard. We had the 1985 Chicago Bears documentary purchased on multiple streaming platforms. I'm not even sure how that's possible. After tailgating with friends and cousins, we made our way up to our seats somewhere in the 300 level, or so I thought. Once we got to our seats, she was unimpressed and told me, "Get up and follow me, I'm in my element." If you've ever been to a sports game, concert, or other event with Kelley, I'm sure you've experienced a similar situation to get better seats or try to sneak in the VIP section. Kelley dragged me down the concourse to the 100-level section as I complained, saying, "Can't we just stay in our seats? There's no way this is gonna work." I uncomfortably stood back as she approached the security attendant, who had no idea what he was about to be hit with. Kelley proceeded to work her magic and persuaded this poor 25-year-old man that we had left our tickets with friends and that we were sitting in section 112, row 13 or something like that. Kelley just exhausted this guy out and eventually just said, "Fine, go." I was astonished. It was like Harry Potter yelling, "Expecto Patronum." I had to put the reference in there. I was completely out of my comfort zone and I loved it. She had such gumption, confidence, and she never settled. Sometimes to a fault, but these characteristics are what made me so attracted to her. Kelley would push me to get out of the status quo, reach for what you want, and therefore instill a confidence in me personally and professionally. She was the yin to my yang. Soon Kelley would introduce me to her parents, Bob and Cindy. Kelley brought me over to Burnham, where they had TV set up and a buffet to watch the Super Bowl. Bob and Cindy were gracious and welcoming, and they already made me feel like part of their family. At one point, Bob pulled me aside and jokingly said, "Man, you must really like Kelley. You're watching the Super Bowl with your girlfriend's parents instead of with your boys." But Bob, you were wrong. I didn't just like your daughter. I adored her. Kelley and I would eventually wed on September 30th, 2023 at the Sun and Up Hotel in Vail, Colorado. It was right at the peak of the aspens changing colors, which, as everyone knows, Kelley loved her colors. I am biased, but Kelley was the most stunning bride on her wedding day. Absolutely flawless, and she commanded the room the entire night. We ate, drank, we sang, and we danced to the moonlight with our closest friends and families. It was a night neither of us would ever forget. With marriage came a new role for Kelley, the fun aunt. She inherited 4 little new ones into her life: Parker, Jack, Lulu, and Colin. Kelley loved being an aunt. She would squat down and ask, "Can Aunt Kelley have a hug?" If I'm being honest, it was pretty hit or miss early on because they were so young. But Kelley had a plan. "I will bribe your affection with presents." Over time, Kelley would shower these munchkins with pajamas, toys, candy, and stuffed animals, anything that would make them put a smile on their faces. And guess what? Her plan worked. They all loved Aunt Kelley and rewarded her with big hugs and kisses. It was heartening to see her shine so bright as an aunt because it gave me a glimpse into see how great of a mother she would be. One of the last great memories I made with Kelley happened towards the end of our last ski trip, or our last trip in Colorado for the holidays. Kelley and I finally had a chance to ski together. This may sound odd to many, but those who knew Kelley's skiing ability versus the average would understand. Growing up skiing in the hills of Wisconsin, I was nowhere near the same level or within even a couple levels of her skiing ability. But I would frequently brag to my friends and family, "You should see how fast she is. She smokes everyone down the mountain." I took pride in my wife's abilities and humbled at the same time about mine. I spent several days going out by myself to practice and practice, so I could not be able to compete with her per se, but at least be able to hang with her and not have her constantly waiting on me. This was her favorite hobby. I wanted to create another shared experience with her. That final Saturday, Bob, Kelley, and I took the gondola up Vail Mountain. We buckled in. It started with some easy greens, but even then, Kelley and Bob were impressed with my improvements over the prior year. My technique was better, but more importantly, Kelley had confidence in me that I could do this, and I skied more assertively. I had done well, but I was staying the status quo. To again push me out of my comfort zone, because she believed in me, Kelley asked, "Do you want to try a blue?" I obliged, not completely knowing what I was getting myself into. We approached the top of the mountain, and all I needed to hear was Kelley's voice. "You got this, Eddie." And somehow, with some semi-sloppy technique, I made it down the first half of the run. She was so proud, skied down to me, and immediately said, "Wow, I really need to take those golf lessons." Confidence at an all-time high, we skied over to another blue. Same thing. Kelley behind me, watching me go down bit by bit, but I was skiing well. She was so proud and happy. "Dad, look how good he is. He's really doing it. I'm so impressed." That was Kelley in a nutshell, championing the ones that she loved. That's the impression and mark she left on us, on many of us. Even when it may not be just, Kelley would inject positivity into the situation to help the ones that she loved get through what they were going through. That was the last run Kelley and I skied together. Some of her ashes will be spread there at some point in the future. The name of that run is Born Free, and that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect and fitting for Kelley. She was uninhibited and lived her life fearlessly and passionately. We should all take a page out of her playbook and strive to live life as full as Kelley did. In closing, I ask everyone in this room for two things. First, as this weekend comes to an end, I'm aware that messages and texts will dry up. I will be okay. I have an incredible support system and community around me. I'll be good. But please keep Kelley's spirit alive. My biggest fear is that she will be forgotten, and that is something I cannot live with. Share the memories that you have with her. Laugh at the stories you made with her. Every time you see a sunset, think of how many times Kelley would take a picture of it. When you have a panic attack about which outfit you should wear and can't decide, pick the most colorful and vibrant one, because that's what Kelley would do. If you order bacon from a restaurant and it's not crispy enough for your liking, send it back to get crispier. She brought so much joy to this world and that cannot go unforgotten. Second, and as cliche as it will sound, tell your significant others and close ones that you love them every day. Hug them, squeeze them, kiss them. Kelley and I had a rule that no matter what, we would say "I love you" to each other when the other was leaving. Didn't matter the mood we were in, we would always say "I love you." I once told Kelley, "I love you" is just 3 words, but when I say them, I'm telling you that you're my comfort, my laughter, and my closest friend in the world. And I don't think there's a better phrase that encapsulated our relationship. In such a horrifying and unexpected tragedy, I take solace in the fact that my last words to Kelley were, "I love you, Kel." And her last words to me were, "I love you, Shug." And I can live with that. Kelley and her friend Andrea had a favorite poem by E. Cummings that they would share together. Kelley would demand that Andrea repeat it over and over again to Kelley. And of course, she would cry. Eventually, this ritual would be turned over to me. She recited it over and over. Here's for you, Kelley. "I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done, Whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here's the deepest secret nobody knows. Here's the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart. Rest in peace, my love, Kelley. I promise to take care of Laurie and Bronny. I will continue to fall asleep to Harry Potter on repeat. I love that I got to love you. Until we meet again, I love you, Suge.